So, the new Masters of the Universe movie has struggled at the box office, and honestly, I'm not sure why anyone is surprised. This wasn't Star Wars, it wasn't Marvel, it wasn't Harry Potter, it wasn't even Transformers. This was He-Man, a franchise whose biggest fans are now in their late 40s, 50s, and beyond. Yet somehow, a studio looked at this property and thought, yes, let's spend over $170 million and launch a major blockbuster. Today, I want to talk about why Masters of the Universe failed. Because the problem wasn't He-Man, the problem was that nobody seemed to understand who the audience actually was. And once we get into the numbers and the history of the franchise, the outcome becomes pretty obvious. Welcome back to watching nonsense unfold. Now, before anyone starts sharpening their power swords, this isn't me attacking He-Man. I grew up with He-Man. Many of you probably did too. Back in the early 1980s, Masters of the Universe was huge. The toys were everywhere, the cartoons were everywhere. Every kid knew who He-Man was, but here's the problem. That was over 40 years ago, and that's a very important detail. Hollywood keeps making the exact same mistake. They think nostalgia equals a massive audience. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Nostalgia gives you awareness, not ticket sales. And there is a massive difference. Think about it. The kids who loved He-Man in 1983, they're middle-aged now. They've got mortgages, jobs, families. They have a million other things competing for their time and money. But here is the real killer. The younger audience, they don't care. Ask a 20-something about Star Wars, they know it. Ask them about Marvel, they know it. Ask them about Batman, they know it. But ask them about He-Man, you're going to get a blank stare. Or, best case scenario, someone singing that old internet meme song, and that is exactly the problem. And that is exactly where Masters of the Universe sits today. It's what I call a nostalgia franchise, not a multi-generational franchise, and there is a massive difference. Look at Transformers. Transformers never disappeared. For decades, it's been a non-stop machine. Cartoons, comics, toys, games, movies, non-stop. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, same exact thing. Every few years, there's a fresh version. Another reboot, a whole new generation introduced to the heroes in a half shell. But Masters of the Universe, they never figured that out. Instead, the brand would vanish for years, then pop back up, then vanish again, then pop back up again. Sure, the hardcore fanbase stayed incredibly loyal, but that fanbase never actually grew. It's still the exact same people, just older. And this is where things get genuinely strange. If you know your audience is mostly older fans, why are you making a $200 million blockbuster? That is the one question nobody seems willing to ask. Because a massive, big budget movie needs a massive mainstream audience. It needs families, teenagers, young adults, casual viewers who have never even heard of Eternia. And let's be honest, that is an incredibly tough sell, especially when your biggest cultural peak happened during the Reagan administration. That isn't an insult, that's just reality. Personally, I think this should have been a streaming series. Give us 10 episodes, 12 episodes, heck, make it longer, but take your time. Build the world of Eternia properly. Introduce Prince Adam, unleash Skeletor, show us exactly why we should care. Let the audience actually invest in these characters and let the world breathe, because honestly, Eternia is absolutely fascinating. It's this bizarre, beautiful mix of fantasy and science fiction. Magic meets technology. Ancient castles clashing with laser weapons. There is so much you can do with a sandbox like that, but a cramped 2-hour movie, it doesn't give you any room to explore it, especially when you're rushing to launch a massive franchise at the exact same time. And honestly, this isn't really a He-Man problem, it's a Hollywood problem. Studios keep assuming that because something was popular 40 years ago, it will automatically be popular today. But audiences just don't work like that. You either keep a franchise alive across generations, or eventually it becomes a niche property. And look, there is absolutely nothing wrong with being niche. the mistake is spending blockbuster money on a niche audience and then acting shocked when the numbers don't add up. So, why exactly did Masters of the Universe struggle? Because the audience simply wasn't as big as the studio thought it was. It's as simple as that. The franchise still has fans, plenty of them, but being loved by a dedicated, hardcore audience is not the same thing as being a massive mainstream cultural phenomenon, and I think Hollywood completely forgot that. If you're enjoying the channel and like breaking down exactly why these massive projects succeed or fail, consider hitting that subscribe button. We're rapidly building an incredible collection of science fiction, fantasy, and franchise breakdowns right here on Watching Nonsense Unfold. And now, I want to hear from you. Did Masters of the Universe completely fail because the audience was just too small? Or was there actually a smart way to make this franchise work for a modern audience? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.